Kolkata, where I was recently, and let me tell you, if we kept the city and replaced the people, perhaps, but otherwise, also, I don't think much shot that city has of being a city. Uh, when it came to the this thing, I mean, एक तो firstly Andrew Russell को retain कौन करता है और
I
क्यों?
think bottom two in terms of the teams this year on paper.
Like, you want me to walk you through it? They have let's walk you through it. Batsmen first, always. Sorry. Okay, so we have Abhijit Tomar, we have Pratham Singh, Ramesh Kumar. Obviously, some of these are not going to get a single game. Alex Hales comes in to back up with the batting. They have Ajinx Rahane has been sold, which I was personally quite surprised with, especially considering Raina didn't go. Shreyas Iyer, who seems to be perhaps the new captain, and a man named Rinku Singh, who is also my dad's Malish guy, but not the same guy, but just the same name. I'm just letting you know. We have fun bowlers in the sense of Rashik Salman, Ashok Sharma, Sunil Narayan is obviously retained. The team Saudi is here this year. Does he make that much of a difference to this team in this setup? We'll only find out. Umesh Yadav, who I'm glad has been sold, has gone to Kolkata. लास्ट बचे अपने विकेट कीपर तो शेल्डन जैक्सन है, सैम बिलिंग्स है और ये है बाबा इंद्रजीत है, who I feel just by virtue
शिवम मावी का नाम नहीं लिया.
Oh shit, शिवम मावी ने लिया, sorry my bad. शिवम मावी ये तो ऑलराउंडर है वैसे, he is listed as an all-rounder. पर उसमें भी have अनुकूल रॉय, शिवम मावी, वरुण चक्रवर्ती. Where did the thing go?
There's also Nitish Rana.
हाँ, Nitish Rana, Pat Cummins भी है this year, which I'm most excited about Pat Cummins coming back. I feel like that is a perfect place for him to be. It always felt like Kolkata के bowler में इतना मजा नहीं आता था, and then Pat Cummins comes and it's just like he's handsome also and he takes wickets also, and I think any team buying Pat Cummins makes me very happy. I just like watching him bowl. After Dale Steyn, no, I feel like his neck muscles are the best. It's true. You should see him on the run-up.
His muscles are also nice.
So there was a line by वो test वाली documentary on Amazon Prime. There's a line by Tim Payne when they're talking about Patrick Cummins. So he calls him Sir Golf because he was doing an ad for Gillette. This line is the best a man can get. So he says that he's anyway Sir Garfield Cummings because it is the best a man can get. Look at him; he hardly sweats even when he's bowling. So like sometimes even I feel that I don't know what is better about Pat Cummins. Is it his bowling in test matches or is it his looks in test matches? Because to run in and bowl all those overs and not a single strand of hair you feel कि मतलब कहीं हिला है या कुछ हुआ है. It's just like he's come dressed completely about to go to a party. He's definitely I think if not the best, then one of the top few sport persons in cricket right now who are very good looking.
That's true. The only time I've seen Pat Cummins even only mildly harrowed was at the Gabba, and even then he got Pujara out with that beautiful delivery, and he got like a few wickets after that also. But when this is India versus Australia, the famous "Uta hai Gaba ka comment." But coming to KKR.
Shreyas Iyer officially captain. Yeah,
I don't think so. कोई भी बोलेगा तो बता देगा.
No.
Claims.
They have announced today.
हो गया.
That was given.
Yeah.
जितने पैसे उस पे खर्च करे थे. But I mean, KKR have really messed it up in this auction.
I agree.
बहुत ही कचरा.
Apart from their spin bowling, which is the best in the tournament with Sunil Narayan and Chakravarti, and you could say to some extent power play bowling. There is not much to take home about because I think they lost the plot when they bid 12 crores plus for Shreyas and 8 crores for Nitish Rana. While these two players are very good hitters of spin bowling, when it comes to facing pace, they struggle. Someone like Nitish Rana really struggles a lot. So, and the problem is that they might have bought Alex Hales, but they might be forced to drop him and play Sam Billings at 5. Because the way they were celebrating when they got Ajinkya Rahane sort of gave me a hint that Rahane might open. Now, if you have a top 4 of Rahane, Venkatesh Iyer, Nitish Rana, or Shreyas Iyer, at 3 or Nitish Rana at 4, uh, that's not ideal, because you have two people who can potentially end up anchoring the innings. And in your top, if you also include someone like Andre Russell, your best bet against back of the length pace bowling is Ajinkya Rahane, and that is not ideal at all. The bigger problem over here is that in their potential 11, there are 3 people who have massive injury concerns. Their biggest hope as of now for death bowling is Andre Russell, and who's also their finisher. So over reliance on one player in one discipline anyway is not ideal. Over reliance in 2 disciplines is less ideal, and it becomes a recipe for complete disaster when that is on a player like Andre Russell, who rarely lasts a full season or has some injury concern or the other. So I don't even know whether somewhere even KKR is responsible for his injury concerns, because the most silly part that I have found about KKR in the last 2 seasons is कि अगर उसको injury होती है, you know how injury prone he is. Why do you field him at the boundary? Why can't he field inside the circle? तुम उसके बाद उसको fielding भी boundary पे कराओगे. You will ask him to come and bowl at the death. You want him to finish the games on a player who has a shoulder problem, who has bad knees. So I mean, their strategy was all over the place. I also didn't understand why they would pay someone like Shivam Mavi 7+ crores. They genuinely messed up a lot of things for them. And even when they had only 20 crores left and no death bowling, right, they were still going after someone like Nicholas Puran. So it was making no sense at all what they were trying to do. And they got Tim Southee. Now, Tim Southee did well in Sharjah on pitches where the ball was coming the next day after bouncing. So wahan par you can get Chakravarti to bowl at the death. You can get your cutters in. But if the IPL is most likely going to happen in Maharashtra, in Wankhede, Brabon, and Pune, over there, this death bowling is like pray to God and hope for the best. It's literally that. So I won't be surprised if KKR finish bottom 3 this time.
I agree. Death bowling is one of their biggest issues I also thought of. And Tim Southee bowling at the death, we've seen his record with super overs and this and that. So it's not great. And you can't expect Pat Cummins to be bowling at the death. He is a proper new ball bowler. Usko death mein daloge to matlab kachra hi ho jayega.
Even Umesh Yadav
is also a power play bowler.
So you don't have anyone. If you break open the game in the power play, you do. But there are going to be times in the season where Sunil Narayan and Chakravarti will bowl over each at the death, and then it could be Mavi or Russell. Russell, if he's playing, if he's not playing, then you don't.
I understand why they would put money after Mavi is because Shivam Mavi and Kamlesh Nagarkoti, after their performances in the Under-19 World Cup that India won, were straight drafted into the KKR side the very same year. And at that time, I think Wasim Akram was still with them, or I'm not sure if he was still with them, but he worked a lot with them. And these are their long-term projects. So I get why they would back Shivam Mavi. He's got the all-round ability and he's a good pace bowler as well. So I understand that, but I really don't understand this Nitish Rana पे इतना पैसा डालना. तुम उसको ओवर भी नहीं देते हो कभी-कभी. वो ऑलराउंडर बना के ओवर भी नहीं देते हो. बैटिंग में भी उसको फ्लोटर बना दिया है.
पर शायद वही है ना लॉजिक की ये साल बोला कि अभी ये साल तू पक्का बॉलिंग करने वाला है. Like that's maybe because otherwise there's no way of justifying that.
नहीं पर बॉलिंग करेगा कहाँ? उसको भी डेथ पे थोड़ा कराओगे.
Exactly. मतलब स्पिनर में वो लोग के पास कितना है? वरुण चक्रवर्ती, सुनील नारायण 8 ओवर डालने वाले हैं ऑलरेडी.
Okay, let's just completely just for a second let's just flash back to the Under-19 World Cup, shall we? Did you see those bowling scorecards? मैच सब लोग एक दो ओवर डाल रहे, लौड़ा फर्क नहीं पड़ता उनको, ठीक है. तो मे बी दैट्स द अप्रोच फॉर कोलकाता. एवरी ओवर इज अ डेथ ओवर बिकॉज एवरी ओवर डेथ इज इमिनेंट. तो तुम ज्यादा स्ट्रेस मत लो इनका. लाइक आई एम टेलिंग यू, आई वॉच कोलकाता एज लाइक देख कोलकाता कौन चलाता है? एक एक्टर चलाता है, उसको एंटरटेन करने का ना. तुम एंटरटेन हो ना, तुम ज्यादा स्ट्रेस मत लो. कोई एक जन तो चाहिए ना ऐसा रैंडमली ऐसा पकड़ने को बीच में फील्ड के. हर हार्लेम शेक में एक जन जमीन पे लेट के माताजी खेलता है अपने आप के साथ. That's what KKR is in all of this. So I wouldn't pay too much heed to what their choices are and why they are what they are. I would just go by the logic that they will most likely not be great.
On that note, we should move to the other team. Before we go, I just want to point out that Owen Morgan has been replaced by Alex Hales.
Yes.
And there could not be anything funnier than that. But yeah, did you have any thought that I interrupted? Sorry.
I was just going to say, like Aditya pointed out very nicely, KKR spent 93% of their purse on 8 players. So अभी मतलब छोड़ो यार, क्या कर रहे हैं?
Couch Pundits Cricket Podcast. For the fans, by the fans.